Hey everybody, welcome back to On the Couch. We're here with our second guest, Mark Calabrese. How are you?
Hi guys, how are you?
Pretty good.
So I tried to call you Magic Mark earlier. You weren't having it.
No, not that I wouldn't have it. It's just that I usually use that when I do like kid shows and stuff,
Okay.
and it's not the coolest thing to go. Hi, my name is Magic Mark. Nice to meet you.
I
guys-
see.
like-
I thought it was cool. Me, I take it like a kid in a candy store. You see a
Exactly.
magician, you're
He
excited.
is the kid on the show,
Yeah.
really. But you guys are probably wondering why we're calling him Magic Mark. Please explain to us what you do.
Well, I'm actually a magician. I'm a professional magician. I've been performing magic since I was 5 years old. But I've also been doing magic professionally since I was 12. I'm 22 now, so I've been doing magic a long time now, and it's how I make my living. It's how I pay for school. It's it's a unique job, obviously, because most kids are working at a CVS or doing some at a supermarket, and I'm a magician. So it's taken me pretty far, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
What kind of stuff have you been able to do? Shows, things of that nature?
Well, when I first started, I was doing a lot of birthday parties, like the kids shows and birthday parties, like you'd see at a 6-year-old birthday. And then I decided it wasn't the kind of venue that I wanted to do. I wanted to do more professional kind of shows, and I started street performing when I was 12, 13 years old in New York City. And the more and more I street performed, the more and more I realized that there's just more than just let me show you a card trick. There was actual performance to it. There was you had to be charismatic, and at the same time you had to work the crowd as opposed to just be a person just doing, like I said, a card trick or something. So I decided to start doing that more, and I got noticed by a bunch of other magicians in the New York area, and they kind of took me under their wing because I was younger. They were in their mid-20s, early 30s, and they saw how good for my age, how good I was, and I decided to just get more and more into it. And then I was like 14, 15 years old. I met David Blaine, which is pretty cool. I met him, and he helped me out with a lot of different things, presentation-wise, not more tricks. And then I started doing more corporate shows, trade show work, and then probably my biggest break, from at 17, 18 years old, I was on MTV. I was on TRL. I did a brief segment on TRL. I did a sideshow kind of stunt for iCarly, Miranda Cosgrove, yeah. And then I actually got to go on her show on iCarly, and I was on that show for all of 2 minutes. But it was pretty fun because I was magician number one. But like I said, I was able to do a couple tricks, and that got me more gigs and more shows, and more networking. And then just this past summer, I was called to do a consulting job for a motion picture. I'm sorry, for a motion picture, and the motion picture was for Johnny Depp. He was the movie's called In the Hands of Dante. He's the main character in the movie, and I actually get to play his hands for a scene. So
Can you explain that a little bit more? So, what do you mean you get to play his hands for?
Well, there's a scene in the movie where he needs to do some some card trick, or not really a card trick, but more of like, I can't really explain it just for the movie's sake, but in the sense that.
See, now I'm disappointed. See, I was trying to get the insights.
Yes, yeah. Well, at the same, I get to be his hands because there's a part in the movie where he actually has to do some things that he's not able to do. It'd take him a couple of years to actually learn the technique. So I was actually brought in just to do consulting, just to consult on how the trick, how the setup would work. I'll give you a brief little synopsis of the scene. He goes to Monte Carlo. He goes to a casino, and at that casino, he goes in with like $100 American and leaves with like 500,000 euro. So and it's obvious.
Small change.
Exactly.
Small
Yeah.
change.
Nothing big. But in the context of the movie, it's not because he's up being honest. He's doing some cheating to get that money. And in the scene, I actually had to devise a setup of how he would do the con to get the money, and at the same time, he has to be part of the con. And there's a scene where his hands, you see a cutaway of his hands doing something with a deck of cards, and those are actually my hands.
Wow.
So yeah.
So your hands are in a movie.
These are the hands of Johnny
So these are Johnny Depp's
So
hands.
will they be labeled as
Wow.
magician hands number one?
No. It'll just say Johnny Depp's hand. No, it'll say scene consultant, and then my name, and then or it will. I might even get a credit on it just for the fact that you have to actually pay for certain things like that. You have to pay
wow.
for the credit. I hope they give me the credit for it because it'd be kind of cool. But
I wouldn't complain.
yeah. So.
I was gonna say, I was thinking your biggest break was being on the couch, but
Well, I'm sorry. Yes, this is true.
That's true.
This is a stepping stone. That was just Johnny Depp was just a stepping stone to be right here.
Absolutely.
Right here.
So what kind of tricks do you do? I mean, is it just card tricks? Is it coin tricks? What do you do?
I do a lot of tricks. I do card tricks. I do the coin tricks. I do big stand up tricks. I do tricks with pretty much anything I can get my hands on. That stemmed off because when you're young and you have no money, you need to do magic with everything you can get your hands on. But now I like to do things with everyday objects as opposed to just it being, like a special prop box. It looks like it's a magician.
Do you think that makes it more real?
Yes, I do, just because if you watch magicians on TV now, that's pretty much what they do. I mean, if you watch David Copperfield, back in the early 90s, he had the special props and stuff like that, but that's because he was a stage magician, and it was okay to do that. But if you went, if you walked by on campus and you saw a guy, let me show you a trick, and he pulls out this box with Chinese writing on one side and an Egyptian pyramid on the other, and it's bright purple, and it's like, yeah, that's not something you found, did it? It wasn't like you can just buy that. So to me, when it's organic in such a way where, it's like, a piece of fruit, or if it's just literally, like your car keys or a deck of cards. A deck of cards is very, very economically, it's just, I can always have in my pocket. At the same time, someone always has a deck of cards, whether it's the old ratty deck of cards that you guys play solitaire with, or, serious players, because of like, Texas Hold'em. So there's always a deck of cards around, and there's a lot of things you can do with the deck of cards. But nowadays, especially with adults, or, with like the older group of people, I like to do mentalism. Mentalism, which is, mind reading, psychological, different things. Just because it's like magic for adults. It's weird to say magic for adults, but kids, they like seeing things disappear.
A bunny out of a hat's a little bit different.
Bunny out of a hat, exactly. But with the mentalism, there is no props at all. It's just my mind working with your mind, and then when I have you think of something, and then I can tell you what you're thinking, you really have no outlet as to how I did that. You might know maybe it was sleight of hand that I made the coin disappear. Maybe he's just really good with his hands. Maybe he has no life, whatever it is. But with mentalism, it's like, well, he had no possible way of knowing what I was thinking because he can't read my mind. And that's what I put that little stem of doubt in your mind of, what am I really doing?
Well, everybody, we're going to be having Magic Mark doing his
Mark
thing.
Calabrese.
Mark Calabrese, right. I just can't get the alliteration out of my mouth.
It's all right. It's all right. Magic Mark's okay.
He's going to be coming on later to show us what he can do. So stick around. We'll be right back.